Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your one and only AR Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the powers of Goku Black. So, yeah, guys, hopefully, you guys enjoy the previous part of this series, and if you guys have not seen it, please, guys, check it out. You guys will definitely like it. And yeah, guys, as for the next part, the like goal is going to be 200 likes and 100 comments. Do that, and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, without any further ado, let us start the video. But before that, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be really helpful to me as I want to reach 20k subscribers, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So yeah guys, please do so. And yeah guys, I've also put the link of my Instagram, the link of my friend's channel who's making really good videos on his YouTube channel, as well as the link of my manhwa and other Naruto channel within the description below. So please guys watch it and you guys will definitely like it. So without any further ado, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto was neglected as Kushina, Minato, Jiraiya and Tsunade always told Naruto from the early age when he had yet to even unlock his chakra along with his siblings that how he did not have the same talent as his siblings, even though Naruto tried his best, but he always got mocked by them. But that was the day. In the other world, in another timeline, Goku Black has just died as his last thoughts were that he wanted justice for all the universes. But that was the time the time ring disappeared from his hand and the powers of Goku Black and Zamasu also went with it, as Naruto was the one who got those powers, as Naruto decided to do things differently than Goku Black. After all, his predecessor simply wanted to destroy everything. But Naruto was not like that. He wanted to control it. After all, why destroy something when you can control it? You can rule it. So, Naruto decided to take his leave as Minato had plans for Naruto. After all, at the day of his birth, the great Elder Toad Sage has given a premonition that Naruto, having an unknown power, will destroy the elemental nations and rule over it all. As Minato and Kushina quickly realized that Naruto was dangerous, so that was the reason for their hatred towards him. While on the other hand, Minato had a plan as he was about to when he banished Naruto from Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. He decided to, you can say, control Naruto through Root and Danzo. But Naruto had already left the Konoha as well as the world itself. After all, he wanted to go out in the other, you can say, planets and rule them all and control his powers even further. After all, he will keep the elemental nations for the last. As while on the other hand, Minato's plans were ruined when Naruto left the planet, as he wanted to put Naruto in the road to control him through that means, and if he ever become a danger to eliminate him. As while on the other hand, Naruto's power started to grow and grow as he was able to conquer so many planets, and afterward he, you can say, fought with the Otsutsuki clan as he slaughtered them, all of them. Only 200 Otsutsukis were left behind along with their king Kin Ususuki, as they decided to leave the dimension to regroup and when the time comes, take Naruto down. After all, Naruto has established his rule over the universe, also called the Naruto Empire. And it was time for Naruto to return back to the Elemental Nation to have his revenge on these people and wanted to have a bit of fun with it. After all, what's the fun in having his armies come down on this planet and ruin it all? After all, he can do it in his sleep if he so desire, but he wanted to have a bit of fun of his own. How he's gonna make these people suffer as a smirk at the thought as he finally arrived at the elemental nations, and you can say flags his aura a little bit. 1% of his power as a whole planet shook for a moment as all the cages and high-ranking shinobis sensed the immense power and the fear it all together. So yeah guys, that was the last part of the series. If you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So let's start the video from here as Minato simply kicked his table as he sent flying, as Minato was furious as he could not understand what was going on here. It had been 6 months, 6 months that All the elemental nations shook for a moment, and a strange power was sensed as all the cages sent their respective shinobi to figure out what was going on there, but nothing was found. But after 2 months, a new hidden village was found, and now, after 4 months, the Konoha, you can say, missions were cut in half as Minato could not understand what was going on here, as a new village was found by the name of Village Hidden in Power, as the arrogant name, as all the, you can say, hidden villages simply laughed it off. But when they decided to employ their shinobis, all the S-rank missions from the elemental nations were given to them, and all of them were completed. Not even, you can say, one single mission was failed, even when Minato tried to send many shinobis to sabotage to their missions, but nothing was found, and all of his shinobis were found dead. Even Kakashi had his both of his arms and legs broken, his Sharingan ripped from his eye socket and sent flying with a, you can say, half destroyed chakra network. It was only because of Tsunade's presence that how he was not completely out of being a shinobi, as Minato sighed as Ambu, you can say, landed beside him. Lord Hokage, the council has been summoned, as Minato gritted his teeth but nodded as he vanishes in a yellow flash. As he arrived to see that the council was already present, Kushina taking the seat of the Uzumaki clan, as Jiraiya and Tsunade were also present as Minato took his seat. As he looked towards his council, as you can say, there was dead silence, but finally Shikaku Nara spoke up. Lord Hokage, have you figured out about the location of Hidden Power Village? As Minato gritted his teeth, he did not like the name whatsoever, and that was the same thing with all the other hidden villages. As Minato shook his head, I do not know how is this even possible. All those who have even asked for the missions, they do not know the location, and all the details about it all become so blurry in their mind that not even Inoichi was able to get the information, as all the clan heads looked towards Inoichi, who nodded at that. As you can say, Danzo spoke up. Lord Hokage, this hidden village of power is a serious threat to the prosperity of Konoha and must be eliminated. As all of them nodded at that, as Minato started to focus at that, but Shikaku Nara spoke up. Lord Hokage, if I must say, at this, Minato looked towards him. In 6 months, the Chunin exams are gonna begin. So I propose that we send a message to the hidden village of power, so that they can participate in the Chunin exam. By this way, we will get a idea of their techniques through our own means. When their genies will arrive here, Inuichi can read their minds, and we will get a lot of information about this village, as all of them were pretty surprised. After all, it was a simple idea but an effective one at that, as Minato smirked at that as he looked towards Shikaku, as I said, well, that's a good idea, Shikaku. All we have to do is to contact Hidden Power Village by some means. At this, you can say all of them nodded and started to make their own plans, and when they will destroy this village and how they are gonna, you can say, distribute the funds among themselves, as all the clan heads were smirking at that, thinking that how their village will prosper after they will destroy this hidden power village, as Minato flashed away along with Jiraiya, Tsunade, Third Hokage, and Kushina. While on the other hand, you can say Raikage was simply looking towards his 1000 shinobis, as he nodded at that as he looked towards his second-hand man. Are you sure about it, Darui? As Darui simply nodded at that, yes, Raikage-sama. By our information, this hidden village is founded in this place. As I looked towards the general area of the map, as Raikage narrowed his eyes, this village has cut off the income of his village by half, if not more, and now it has become a serious threat, and it was time for Raikage to take action against them. After all, his village was already second to Konoha, but now this village came out of nowhere and getting so many S rank missions, A rank missions, and all of them. All their high ranking clients has already gone to that village, and now they were getting no funds whatsoever, and it was time for him to take them down. As he nodded at that, as he looked towards his shinobi, shinobi of Kumo, it is time for us to show to the elemental nations that we, Kumo shinobis, are the strongest by destroying this so called hidden village of power. We will show them that the power only belongs to Kumo. Go and crush them all. As all the shinobis let out a cheer at that, as Raikage smirked at that, as he sent off his shinobis. While on the other hand, he looked towards his village. Soon enough, the village will be destroyed, and he will get the secrets and all the hidden bloodlines that would be present in that village. As he smirked at that, already salivating at the fact that how many bloodlines would be present in his village. While far away, in the hidden base of, you can say, Akatsuki, as all the 10 members were present, as the leader of the Akatsuki pain looked towards Zetsu. Have you gotten the information about this so-called hidden village? As Zetsu simply sighed inwardly. No, leader Sama, even with my abilities, I am unable to find this so-called hidden village. At this, you can say Nagato gritted his teeth. The income of the Akatsuki has come to a whole stale zero, and that their plans were sent flying through years now, and now they're getting a bit desperate here. As he looked towards, you can say, Toby, otherwise known as Obito, as Obito was also quite frustrated even with his Kamui abilities. He was unable to find the location of the damn village, and now they're getting so many missions. Even the Akatsuki tried to intersect some of their S-rank missions, but through most of them, it was like a blur. Their memories were not helping them, and all they saw were their broken bodies sent flying in the opposite directions. All that they remembered nothing, no fight, no, you can say, drastic fight scenes, nothing in their memories, as they were now getting a bit desperate here. While on the other hand, far, far away, in a, you can say, another dimension, Naruto was sitting on his throne as he had, you can say, several of his other employees looking down towards him, as all of them were kneeling. As one of them, you can say, look towards Naruto, my lord, the mission has been completed. As Naruto simply smirked at that. And what is the position of the hidden villages and their respective nations? As the employee simply smirked at that. Well, my lord, according to your orders, we have cut off half of their income to be completed. We have completed all the other S-rank missions using our abilities to put the suggestions that all the S-rank missions to go into the hidden village of power. As Naruto simply smirked at that, his plan was coming together. At the moment, he was simply fucking with all the hidden villages. But soon enough, when he deem it fate, he will reveal his so-called village, which actually, you can say, resides in another dimension completely. On the outside, it would be a normal merchant village and where people can come and go, while in reality, it was another dimension altogether. That was the reason Zetsu, not even Obito, was able to go there. And no, you can say knowledge was present there because in this village, shinobis nor civilians existed. All that existed was Naruto's empire. As Naruto simply chuckled at that, as another one spoke up, my lord, I have just gotten the information that Kuma shinobis are running around this whole, you can say, three countries, as he pointed towards them, trying to search our village and try to sense our, you can say, chakra signatures. As the person smirked inwardly. After all, they do not have chakra whatsoever. They have other abilities. After all, these people are not human to begin with. As Naruto simply smirked at that early now. Well, I was getting a bit bored. Let's see if they can entertain me. As Naruto stood up, as the whole, you can say, palace shook with his power, as all of them bowed down even further towards him. As Naruto smirked at that as he vanishes, while on the other hand, in the Komo squad, as one of the sensors eyes widened as he said, Darui-sama, I have sensed something, a strong presence, a really, really powerful one. As Darui looked towards him, are you sure about it? As the sensor nodded as he pointed towards the direction as Darui's eyes narrowed. This was mostly a civilian area, so it is really possible that it would be one of the shinobis of Power Village. So it was time for him to take him down, and with the shinobis, they will be able to interrogate him and get the location of this so called hidden village. As he smirked inwardly at that, as all the shinobis were finally gathered and ran towards the direction of Naruto, while on the other hand, Naruto was simply standing on a cliff as he was looking down towards the, you can say down, and then looked toward the sky as he sighed inwardly. Too weak. As he thought in his mind, maybe he should put more of those seals on his body to restrain himself from killing all of them with his mere presence. As he smirked inwardly, yeah, only 0.5% of his power should be more than enough for him to have a bit of fun with these people, as he chuckled inwardly. And just like that, after minutes, Naruto was surrounded by all the sides by at least 1000 shinobis, which contained over 400 jonins and 500 tunins and some of ambus as well. As Darui stepped forward, already sensing the immense aura of this guy, as Naruto had a hood on, as Darui spoke up, I presume that you're one of the shinobi of Hidden Power Village. As Naruto did not say anything as he was looking into the sky, as Darui simply narrowed his eyes. You are given a choice to surrender to us and we will go easy on you. All you have to do is to tell us the location of your village and then we will give you a swift death. As Naruto chuckled at that as it turned into pure laughter as he said, You and what army? As Darui narrows his eyes, you may not be able to see them, but they are here as Darui snapped his finger and just like that, all the shinobis who were hiding with some other techniques finally revealed themselves as they have surrounded Naruto with this army. As Darui smirked at that, thinking that now Naruto would be scared and would give up and they will interrogate him and get the location and complete their mission as Naruto simply chuckled towards him as he looked around to see the people. I will ask again, you and what army? As Naruto smirked at that, as Darui frowned at that. Alright, that is enough. As you are given a warning, as he gave a signal as the Ambu and the Jonins rushed towards Naruto ready to subdue him, while on the other hand, Naruto simply sighed as he vanishes, and just like that, you can say snapping sounds could be heard, and it was only after a second as all the Jonins and Ambus let out a scream of pure pains and agony as their bones were now, on the opposite side, as Naruto, you can say, broke their arms, their legs, their knees, and even their necks. And all of them, those who were alive, were screaming as Naruto sighed, too loud of a noise. As Naruto put two of his fingers and then lift them into the air as Daru's eyes widened. Those who were smart enough quickly jumped away, but those who were in the radius of, you can say, 100 meters to Naruto were simply turned into dust. Not even dust was left behind, as a crater was formed around Naruto, who was now floating in the mid-air. As Daru's eyes quickly widened, realizing that this guy was really something else, a threat to the power of Kumo. So therefore, he must be eliminated. As he narrowed his eyes, at least 50 of his shinobis had died in that little attack of Naruto. He had to take this seriously as he looked towards his shinobi, take him down. At this, all the shinobis quickly brought out their weapons and rushed towards Naruto. As Naruto said, if I'm not mistaken, what did he call him? Ah, fire style. Fire annihilation as Naruto let out a, you can say, stream of pinkish fire from his mouth as it was so hot that Shinobi's eyes widened as they tried to use their water wall or water stream jutsus, but it was already too late. And just like that, 200 Shinobis has died. As Naruto said, interesting techniques, but I don't think that I like them. Well, I'm an old-fashioned way, so let us take it hand to hand, shall we? As he looked towards Darui, who was now scared a little bit as he took a step back in fear as Naruto smirked as he looked toward the shinobis who has gotten to their position, now a bit scared, but they looked towards each other and nodded and rushed towards Naruto. As Naruto said, well then, let's dance. As he jumped down from the cliff and ran towards them. It was the same fight scene between Madara and, you can say, the shinobi forces. The bodies were sent flying all over the place as Darui could not believe his eyes. 10 seconds, in 10 fucking seconds, Naruto has sent off, you can say, at least 300 of his shinobis dead. As shinobis quickly started to use ninjutsu, genjutsu, shuriken jutsu, funjutsu, all of their other techniques even some of the Kekkei users, but it was to no avail. As one of the steel released Kekkei, the body Kekkei rushed towards Naruto. It is over. My body cannot take any damage. As he rushed towards Naruto, trying to attack him, but Naruto simply flipped him on his forehead, and just like that, his body shattered. All of his bones crumbled into dust as he was sent flying through several mountains dead. While on the other hand, Darui quickly, you can say, used his black lightning towards Naruto, but to his surprise, Naruto dodged all of his attacks like they were not even present there, as shinobis were still releasing their ninjutsu techniques, but it was not working whatsoever as Naruto easily dodged most of them, and those two that hit were not working on him. And just like that, after 1 minute, Darui simply looked towards the battered battlefield that was present there as Naruto looked all around the place. It seemed that 0.5% of my power was simply too much for these insects. Oh well, next time I will try to hold back even further. Maybe 0.1% of my power should be more than enough for me to have a bit of fun. Wouldn't you agree, Darui-san? As Darui could not believe his ears nor his eyes, 1,000 shinobis that he brought here ready to take down the whole village, believing that they only have few shinobis who were cheating somehow, and now this guy has decimated their forces like it was not nothing. And now he was standing there saying that how he only used 0.5% of his power as he was battered all over the place. He has used all of his chakra. He was near chakra exhaustion at this point. He was barely able to stand as he looked towards Naruto in utter horror. As Naruto simply chuckled towards him, you know, I can kill you. But then again, I have killed 1,000 people today, so maybe today I should take a bit of rest. Wouldn't you agree, Darui-san? So, here's the plan. Go back to your village, your pathetic little village, and pray. Pray to whatever god you worship that I do not have half a mind to visit your miserable village. Because if I do, as he whispered in the ears of Darui, I will leave it nothing but a smoking crater. As Darui had a shiver run through his spine, something was telling him that how it would be true and nothing and no one would be able to stop him. Not Raikage, not Killer Bee, not the other Jinchurikis, and not the other villages. As Naruto chuckled towards him, tell you what, I'll be seeing you around. Go and tell your pathetic Raikage that I will let it, you can say, go this time. But maybe next time, if he so desired for a battle, maybe he should come himself. And maybe I would have a bit of more fun and bring more shinobis, of course. Because this warm up was not nearly enough for my blood to be pumping at this point as Naruto chuckled, and just like that he vanishes from the place. Not even a, you can say, trail was left behind as Darui could only look around the dead bodies that were present there. The battlefield was simply completely one-sided. He was simply slaughtered here. As he simply looked down to the ground, tears were coming from his eyes. He had to inform this to Lord Raikage. And just like that, he left from the place after some, you can say, rest, of course. Now let us go to the elemental nations. The news spread like wildfire across the elemental nations as Raikage was looking towards Darui. Darui, tell me everything. Not even a single detail should be left behind. As Darui simply nodded at that, Lord Raikage, the battle got something like this as he explained the whole situation. When they arrived, they surrounded him, and when, with a simple technique, he blew off at least 50 of their best shinobis, ambus, and jonins, which is signal to take him down. And afterward, it was a one-sided slaughter. He used fire technique, great fire annihilation, and burnt off 200 of their shinobis, and rest of them he defeated all of them with his taijutsu, and his speed was so great that not even a one ninjutsu was able to hit him, and they used all the 5 chakra natures to use it. And on top of that, he used his black lightning, and he was able to hit him once, but to his surprise, he simply walked through it like it was not even affecting him, not even once. As Raikage asked for the details of his face or body, but to his shock, he saw that how He only had a hood on his face, so therefore they were unable to see his face whatsoever. As Raikage was furious, he got humiliated. All across the elemental nations, the news has already spread as people were laughing at him, calling his village weak, and he has gotten even less missions after that. And now he was furious. He vowed to the heavens that how one day he will get his hand on that damn village and will crush it with his own two hands. He has already ordered his armbus to train further, and soon enough he will launch a full-scale invasion when he will find the damn location in the first place. While on the other hand, in the deep, you can say regions of Otogakure, as Orochimaru has just gotten the information from Kabuto, as Orochimaru had a frown on his face. Previously, he wanted to have some information and the location of this hidden village, but to his surprise, he was able to find nothing. Nothing at all. Even the best spies like Kabuto were unable to find any location of the hidden village of power. And now he was now getting a bit angry but intrigued at the same time. After all, he has just gotten the information that one shinobi from this village has been able to slaughter over 1000 shinobi of Komo like it was nothing within a minute. On top of that, and defeated a S-rank shinobi like Darui as well, who was clearly next in line to be the Raikage. His own income has been affected by this village, but Orochimaru did not care much about it. All he wanted was revenge on Konoha, and maybe if he, you can say, join this hidden village of power, then he would be able to get his revenge on Konoha. After all, plans had to be made carefully, and in the next Chunin exam, he has already convinced Suna, whose income has taken even further dive after the emergence of this hidden village of power, and now they were basically at the verge of bankruptcy, so they had to join him. They have no other choice whatsoever. So, all he had to do is to convince some other villages. Maybe Kumo would be a good choice, but then again, Raikage was already too angry. Then he would have to go to Anoki. So, he had no other choice at the moment. While, on the other hand, Hidden Village of Mist was in the middle of a civil war. As you can say, me, Terumi, simply sighed as she looked towards her shinobis, who once again has gotten even less at this point. They were losing the civil war pretty badly, and she did not knew what to do at this point. They had already lost half of their forces, and Yagura was still as powerful as ever. His shinobis has gotten even more powerful, and he's getting some secret help from somewhere. After all, me really believed that, and she finally had the answer today. In front of her was a, you can say, bound down shinobi of Root. As May cursed her luck, she already knew who this guy was, and there was no way in hell she's getting the answers. But then again, that seal on his, you can say, tongue was more than enough proof for her that why, you can say, Yagura suddenly got so much, you can say, gut and power, and her own. Some of her shinobis are disappearing without any trace. It seemed that Jagura made a deal with Konoha in, you can say, exchange of help. He will, you can say, give some of the bloodlines back to Konoha. As she cursed her luck, she did not know what to do at this point. They were losing this whole damn war too badly. She has already reached out to the other villages. Konoha Minato quickly told her that how they did not have the manpower or some bullshit like this, and how at the moment his village could not help. While on the other hand, other villages demanded, so you can say, too many things for their help. Like Raikage wanted her to be, you can say, married to him. On top of that, you can say, giving some other bloodlines to his village as well. While on the other hand, Anoki simply demanded many other things like full control of Mist Village and becoming a proctorate to the village hidden in rocks. And she cannot do that. Sand was simply too weak at this point for even, you can say, standing up to Konoha and helping them. As she sighed at that, she only had one hope, and that was this newly formed village hidden in power. As she sighed, she did not know even how to contact them. If only she could contact them by some means, as she really needed help. And that was the thought when suddenly she felt something strange, and just like that she felt a presence behind them. As she looked back to see that a person, a hooded figure, was standing there. Meterumi, the leader of the rebellion of the Mist Village. It seemed that you are in require of our services. As May narrowed her eyes as Ao quickly arrived, his Byakugan activated when he sensed the chakra signature, and suddenly the camp was surrounded by the shinobis of May Terumi. As May narrowed her eyes towards the person, who are you and how did you arrive here? As the person simply chuckled, let's just say that I'm the messenger of the hidden village of power. After hearing that name, all of the people that were there froze for a second. As May's eyes widened as she said, how did you arrive here and why are you here? As the person chuckled once again, you should already know the answer for that, Meterumi. You are in requirement of our services and we do serve the people of the elemental nations. After saying that, he chuckled inwardly too much. He almost burst into laughter. As May narrowed her eyes, what do you want from us? As you can say, the person said, well, let's just say that we are here to help you if you decide to employ us. If you do not, then you will simply forget this conversation and then you will be on your merry way. As May quickly realized that it must be some kind of jutsu. She did not know how it was and it was too far-fetched to even believe because for something like this to exist, it was like this. If anyone was in requirement of a high rank mission, then the messenger of the hidden village of power quickly arrived. If they accept the mission, they will complete it and then you can say blur their memories that how did they contact them and if they do not, they will simply forget any and everything about them. Such a village was truly example of how a shinobi should be always in the shadows. While she quickly shook her head, it was too far fetched, but she really needed help. Oh, really so? If you truly have the power to help us, then what would you require in exchange for your help? As Ao spoke up, Miss-sama visibly cannot as before he could say anything, she glared towards him, shutting him up. As he looked towards him, what we want is cooperation in the future. You already know that our village is prospering, of course, and some other villages do not like that. Of course, we do not want to make enemies of all the hidden villages. So, when your village is completely you can say established under your rule as a new Mizukage, we would require a treaty with your village and cooperation with us. After all, we are just shinobis doing our own business. We would rather not go into you can say elongated wars. Even the man could not believe the bullshit that was coming out of his mouth. After all, they have waged war over, you can say, such a long time, conquering planets after planets under the order of their lord, and he was preaching about peace here. He almost burst into laughter, but he was able to control himself. As May thought it for some time, it really made sense. They were simply doing missions and they were good at it, but the other villages would not like it. After all, they have lost so many business against them, so they would definitely be hostile towards them. But if it really requires, you can say, her cooperation, and if they're really able to take Yagura down, then she will accept it. She did not care about other hidden villages. They had already refused to help her, to help protect innocence. So she simply looked towards him. Alright then, I would require a meeting with your leader. The person simply shook his head. If you accept the mission today, then our best shinobi would arrive tomorrow. As May raised an eyebrow at that. So how many shinobis are you willing to lend us? As the person chuckled. To be honest, we are gonna send one shinobi. As May's eyes widened. Are you kidding? As Ao was really angry after hearing that, the person simply shook his head. We'll be sending the guy who was able to kill off over 1000 shinobis of Como. As May's eyes widened at that, even in Civil War, they were able to hear some rumors coming from the other side of the elemental nation. She quickly realized that such a powerful shinobi would be on the same level as Minato Namikaze, so she really needed help at this point. Even if it was only one shinobi, she will accept it for someone like that. She quickly nodded at that. The person smiled. Well then, the shinobi will arrive tomorrow, and I believe that in 1 week your little war would be over. After saying that, he simply disappeared into, you can say, shadows before May could say anything, as she was unable to sense him even when he was present there. Oh, spoke up. Me Sama, I was unable to see his chakra network even with my Byakugan, as me was a bit surprised but nodded nonetheless. It was to be expected from someone like that. Finally, the day has over as May finally, you can say, was ready to welcome this shinobi, as she was hoping that he would be more talkative. But before she could say anything, she felt a presence that was, you can say, sitting in her chair as she looked back to see that a hooded figure was sitting there. As May's eyes narrowed at that, "Who are you?" Even though she already suspected the answer, the person looked towards her. So, you're the leader of this rebellion. I must say that. You're a lot more beautiful than I heard before. As May blinked a little bit, wondering if the guy was flirting with her. As the person finally stood up, as he flexed a bit of his aura, as May's eyes widened at that, as well as all the shinobis that were present in the tent of the rebellions, as they finally arrived to see that the person who was standing there, as the person started to move his hood and let his white hair down, as May's eyes widened, as it was a young man, as he had pink hair as well as pink eyes, but he is you can say exerted a aura of immense, immeasurable power. As Naruto looked towards her up and down, and a smirk came to his face. Well then, let us start this little war of ours, shall we? As May's eyes widened, as he said, "So you're the shinobi of the hidden village of power, right? Alright then, why don't you tell us about your abilities?" As Naruto simply shook his head. "It is not the time. I'm gonna start it today, after all, if I'm not mistaken." As Naruto looked towards one direction, Yagura and his 5,000 shinobis are already coming in this direction. As you can say, Meterumi's eyes widened at that as she looked towards one of her sensors, who started to focus a lot as his eyes widened as he looked towards Meterumi. "Mesama, Yagura has found our location. He's coming here with over 5,000 shinobis." As May's eyes widened at that, as she looked towards her own shinobis, who were only 800 in number. At this point, as she had a scared look on her face, as Naruto looked towards her. "Do not worry, sweetheart." As Naruto put a hand to her cheek, as she was wondering what was going on here. "I'll be taking care of them. All you have to do is to be ready to take over." After saying that, Naruto gave her a smirk and started to walk away, as she had a small blush on her face, wondering what was going on here. As Naruto vanished away before she could say anything, while on the other hand, Yagura was standing in front of his shinobis, who has finally arrived to the location where the tent was hidden somewhere here, along with seals, as he looked towards his shinobi. "My shinobis, today is the day we shall take care of these abominations who have dared to make our village dirty with their presence. They do not have the right to breathe the same air as us, the pure bloods." At this, all of them let out a cheer, "and we will end them, and afterward we will put our eyes on the other nations and destroy these abominations, these bloodlines. They are unnatural and cannot be allowed to exist." As all of them simply nodded at that, and suddenly a clapping was heard as Yagura looked forward, wondering where that came from, as they looked up to see that someone was floating in the air and was clapping after his speech. "Oh, well, that was quite a good speech for a Jinchuriki." As you can say, Yagura's eyes narrowed at that. Your own existence is not much natural about it. Huh. Well, anyways, I do not have time for the hypocrisy of the elemental nations. I'm here to kill you. So, how would you like to die? You can either surrender and die, you can either fight and die, or you can just die. So, how would you like to die?" At this, Yagura's eyes narrowed towards him. "I do not know who you are, but you're clearly on the side of those abominations, and by the look of it, you're also one. So today is the day your kind would perish here." As he looked towards his shinobi, who nodded as Naruto started to float down, and just like that, he landed on the ground as the shinobis of mist simply rushed towards him with their kunais and their techniques ready, as Naruto simply smirked at that, as Meitoromi has finally arrived with her shinobis ready to fight to the bitter end. If she has to die, then she will die fighting no matter what. As she came back to see that massive forces of Yagura were already rushing towards the area, but then she noticed the shinobi that has arrived from The hidden village of power was simply standing there and he was laughing as he was about to order her shinobis to help him. But then he launches himself as Naruto looked towards the shinobis that were coming towards him as a smirk came to his face as he said, "Huh, so fight and die then. Well then, let's have fun." As his eyes glowed, as his aura flared, as he rushed towards them, as the ground where he was standing before shattered into pieces, and the next thing Yagura knew, 100 of his shinobis has already died off, as Naruto arrived at the center of the army, as they quickly made way and was looking towards Naruto readily, as Naruto looked towards them as he stood up with a smirk on his face. Well then, let's start the massacre, shall we? After saying that, you can say he launches himself towards them as the bodies were sent flying as Naruto's in hands appeared some blast. And just like that, they went off as a gigantic dome of destruction appeared and killed off at least 500 shinobis like it was nothing. As Yagura's eyes widened in within a start of a battle, over 700 of his shinobis has already died off as he glared towards Naruto with as much hatred as possible as he looked towards his shinobi who were now scared as he scoffed at that as he gave a signal. The remaining members of the seven deadly swordmen who were loyal to him appeared as he looked towards them. "We will attack together. I have a suspicion who this guy is. I think that he's the one who killed off the shinobis of Kumo. We will not give him the opportunity to kill us. We will destroy him." After saying that, his shinobis nodded as they rushed towards Naruto as well as his, you can say, the other shinobis as they quickly go through hand signs releasing S-rank techniques, not even caring that their own shinobis were on in the way as Naruto looked towards the techniques that were coming towards him with a smile on his face. Boom! As a gigantic explosion took place where he was standing, as Mei, who was watching it all, was at shocked after she saw the power of that shinobi. But when she saw that those S-rank techniques hitting him, she was wondering if he has already died and how she has to evacuate her shinobis. But before she could complete that, you can say, thought, Naruto was burst out of the smoke, laughing as he said, "Ha, that tickled, as he looked towards Shigura, who glared towards Naruto, as Naruto landed beside him, not even caring that your own shinobi were in the way. Look, you have already killed off over 50 of your own shinobi, but I doubt that you even care about it, as Shigura scoffed, they are weak. And I am their cage. It is their duty to die for me if I so desire." As Naruto simply shook his head, "Huh, whatever you want, brat." As Shakura glared towards him, he always hated why people call him short and all that. As Naruto simply chuckled, "So these are your elites, if I'm not mistaken. Well then, I shall play with them to see how much of a elite they truly are." As he gave a, you can say, hand sign towards them to come and get him, as all the seven swordmen rushed towards him as Yagura smirked, their best in the swordmanship, and he did not have any weapon on him. He was as good as dead, and he made the vital mistake of, you can say, of his life that he ever made, and that was blinking. That was all he took. One moment, all of his shinobis were rushing towards him with their swords drawn ready to cut him down, and in the next moment, he blinked, and all of his shinobis were on the other side of, you can say, Naruto, who was standing there as Shigura was waiting to see the cut body of this brat. But to his utter shock, all he saw was the heads of his shinobis who were attacking him were simply cut off. As Naruto said, "Huh, this was one of the favorite techniques of my predecessor." As Naruto looked towards his hand, as a, you can say, pinkish sword has appeared in his hand. "For you, I will make an exception." As Naruto moved his hand, as the sword turned into a sphere, as Naruto chuckled at that, as Yagura glared towards him. But before that, as Naruto looked back towards the army of Yagura, as he pointed a hand towards them, as a pink energy started to appear in his hand, as he started to grow and grow and grow as a gigantic ball has appeared in Naruto's hand as he was floating over the forces. Even Yagura eyes widened. The amount of power he was sensing from it, it was beyond from this world. As Naruto looked towards Yagura, you made a good decision leaving at least 7,000 shinobis back in your village. Otherwise, this village would have been too weakened after I will do this. as Naruto threw the ball, and just like that, the shinobis tried to use some other ninjutsu to protect themselves. You can say, the earth wall, the water bubble, or whatever the techniques they had in their arsenal. Some of them even tried to run, but it was already too late. And just like that, a gigantic explosion took place. Out of 4,000 shinobis that were left behind, only 8,000 or so were, you can say, left alive, and they were simply too injured to fight back. As Naruto looked back towards Yagura, as he said, "Now then, your army is taken care of. Let us have a bit of fun." Because I was hoping to fight a Jinchuriki, maybe, and that is a big maybe. You would be a bit of fun, Yagura. As Yagura glared towards Naruto with utter fear and anger and hatred in his eyes, all of those emotions were conflicting with each other as he said, "You, you monster!" As he rushed towards him, already three tails appearing behind him, ready to attack Naruto. Within a second, he has entered into the second stage of his Biju form as he appeared in front of Naruto, who was casually looking towards him. As before Yagura could move his, you can say, hand to swipe towards Naruto's face to cut it off, Naruto simply backhanded Yagura, who was sent flying through some mountains that were nearby. As Naruto looked towards him, "You bore me. Why don't you use your full power?" As Yagura opened his mouth and powered up a Bijudama. As Bijudama was coming towards Naruto, as Naruto sighed, as he opened his hand and a small and tiny, you can say, ball of energy appeared in his hand as Naruto flickered with his thumb as his energy collided with the Bijudama, and to utter shock of all the shinobis and Yagura who were present there, Naruto's attack tore through the small Bijudama and blasted on the face of Yakura, who was once again sent flying. As Yagura stood up, already too injured, enough, as he let out a roar, and just like that, the full Biju transformation started to take place. As Naruto looked towards Yagura with a smile on his face, maybe it would be a bit of fun. As Naruto flew into the air, as Three Tail finally appeared, as you can say, Mitsurumi took a step back. At this point, she had no reason to doubt the shinobi of hidden village of power, and she was a bit scared at the same time. Someone like him, or someone, or a village to have a power like this. He was only one shinobi. Just how many powerful shinobi this village truly contained to be this powerful? As Naruto looked towards Shigura's Bijudama, who launches towards him. As Naruto sighed, once again this was boring. As Naruto moved his leg, and when Bijudama appeared in front of him, Naruto kicked it, and just like that, the Bijudama was sent flying back towards Yagura's, whose eyes widened as his own attack blown on his face. And once again, he was sent flying into the ocean as Yagura barely came back as Naruto appeared in front of him, grabbing him by his throat and throwing him into the air. As Yagura was sent flying like a ragdoll in his three-tailed transformation state, as Naruto pointed his hand towards him as a beam of pink energy was released from his hand, and just like that, Three-Tail was engulfed in the blast radius, and after the light finally died down, only the ashes were coming back into the ground. As Naruto simply looked towards him, it seemed that my attack quickly ended him. Oh well, he was too weak to begin with. As Naruto finally, you can say, flown down towards, you can say, Metorumi, who had an utter shock look on her face. The war she was fighting over half a decade at this point, even more than that, was ended in a single day by a single shinobi. As Naruto looked back towards the beaten form of the shinobis who were trying to stand up, as Naruto looked towards them, from this day onward, Meiterumi, the leader of the rebellion, is hereby the new Mizukage. Anyone who dare to oppose that shall face me and my shinobis and powers. At this, all the shinobis looked towards Naruto in utter fear. Their brethren were slaughtered like sheep, and they were unable to do anything, and they did not have the power to stand up. As Naruto looked towards her with a, you can say, smirk on his face as he gave her a blink of eye as he looked towards her. "Well then, Mizukage-sama, we shall meet again. So, your mission is completed. We shall meet within a 1 week. After all, I have some other things to take care of after being so bored in a fight. You know, have to have a sum of entertainment. After saying that, he simply blinked away, leaving a utterly shocked Metorome, who at this point did not knew what to do but to gather her forces and become the new Mizukage. After all, the mist has to go through a new era, and she will be the one to lead it, as Naruto simply far away smirk at that. After all, when he will take over the elemental nations, he needs a new leader to rule it. Well, under his command, of course. So maybe she would be a good candidate, and she was not bad looking as well, as a smirk at that inwardly. But hey guys, here I will leave this part. Hopefully you guys like it. In the next part, we will see the reaction of the elemental nations, the Chunin exam, and many other things. So for the, you can say, pairing, I think that Metorumi should be good enough. But if you guys have some other idea, then tell me, because I'm not gonna make Naruto like, you can say, lovable or all that, because his personality I have already shown you. So tell me in the comment section, and please like it, complete the like goal, comment goal, so that I can make the next part for you guys. So please guys do so, and yeah, peace.